First of all, I want to tell you, you work for a great company. And I don't tell that to people very often. It's usually I'm dealing with somebody that doesn't get it. You have a great company, okay? So just appreciate that. And I've been doing this for a long time. First of all, we're going to talk about back safety, and then we're going to talk about chemicals and solvents, etc. This is very informal. If anybody has any questions, comments, let me know. Joyce, have you had any accidents at all?
Not to my knowledge.
Any work comp accidents, anything like that?
I mean, not recently.
Okay, perfect, awesome. Okay, anybody in this room in the last 6 months tell Joyce any type of safety suggestions? Any reason why? Just haven't seen one, or what?
We're that prepared.
You're that prepared?
We're that prepared.
Okay. Remember, I'm here to help you guys. Okay? I saw something. First of all, I grew up in the area right across the river. My wife's from Keeler. I'm from Cuba. And I referee high school basketball. And I'm looking this way, but my eyes are going that way. I got eyes in the back of my head. Just remember, when somebody you don't know walks in the shop, do you guys have a seatbelt on that forklift? Whoever operates the forklift, what's the rule about wearing a seatbelt? Supposed to use it?
We're a seatbelt.
Okay. Okay. I'm just the messenger. So I'm walking this way and I'm looking that way. So just remember, try to put that seatbelt on. And I know because you're on it, you're back and forth. So just do that. How much weight can you guys lift?
Individually, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, what are you talking about, or what are you talking about?
How much do you feel comfortable lifting?
5.
70, 75? Okay, what about you guys?
About 80.
About 80? Okay. 100?
The winter's used up with brittle though.
Okay. I like to have fun. It's that way.
Maybe pound.
You got in here last, so I get to pick on the last person. Can you stand up? Can you put your hands out, please? Simon says straight out. Straight out. You said 100 pounds, right?
Sure.
Okay, let's make it bet. How long can that dude hold that before he bends that elbow? Elbows locked, please.
This guy's done working out.
You should be able to hold it locked.
No, I'm weak now.
Okay.
I'll give it an hour.
I'll bet you $20.
I bet you would.
Okay, well, thank you for volunteering. Okay? On back safety, just remember, and I'm short, okay, I'm a short guy. This is Mark's safe zone right here. Okay? If I can pick something up right here, I could probably lift 50 to 100 pounds right here. If I got to go like this, look at me, that's an awkward position, right? Or short guys, if I got to stand like that, that's an awkward position. Okay? Now, do we have things here to help us lift? That's one right there.
Yeah.
A young guy. Okay, what else do we have to here? We got a forklift, right? What else do you have?
Tommy Gates.
Tommy gates.
From Kurt.
Okay, you got dollies, right? You got a whole bunch of stuff, right? Okay, so if we use that equipment the right way, we should reduce the amount of material handling that we have to do. Okay, when I go through this PowerPoint, I want to talk about how we can prevent back injuries. Have you ever known anybody that had a back problem? Okay, back problems, the big thing about a back problem, you hurt your back once, it could be something that you have to deal with the rest of your life. Okay, I remember my mom, she had one back surgery, and all I remember about my mom was never the same. My mom ended up, before she passed away, I lost track, 6, 7, 8 surgeries. She was in constant pain. But up until that first back surgery, she was awesome. So I just want to talk about what we can do to prevent somebody from being injured. So I'm going to go through this. Let me know if anybody has any questions, comments.
What was the name of her surgeon?
Pardon? No. She just never recovered. Just never recovered. I know somebody that I did this training a couple weeks ago. A guy, he was in the back of the room and he raised his hand. And he said that he was in a car accident when he was 18. And this guy was in his late 30s, and he said for 20 years he had back surgery. And the day that he had back surgery, he said that a couple of his buddies had to help him from his house to get into his wife's vehicle. And the day after surgery, he said it was the first time he didn't have pain in 20 years. He was lucky. So let me know. We're going to go through this. Let me know if anybody has any questions, comments. Okay? We're going to talk about common causes of back pain, stretching, good posture, etc. Okay. Statistics. That's what workers' comp is. Statistics. Look around this room. 80% of us in our lifetime are going to have a back problem. Most of the time it's going to be related to a pulled muscle or a strain. It's going to be something minor. Okay? Insurance companies, safety people, we hate back injuries because they can linger for a long time, and we just don't want anybody hurt. And the biggest thing about this is sometimes you're never the same. You think you are, but you might not be. We're going to talk about how we can prevent back injuries. Okay? Trick question. What's the strongest part of our body we don't use up to our capabilities? Trick question.
Brain.
Thank you. Okay? For a 5-year period, I didn't lift anything. Anything outside that weighed over 35 pounds. For about a 5-year period. What do you think? Why?
Scared?
Huh?
Something scared you?
No. No. I referee anywhere from 75 to 100 basketball games a year. I'm in pretty good shape. I was using my brain. My son was in high school. I delegated him to do that activity for me.
Until they move out.
Yes.
Way.
The day he moved out, he put a big rock in his bedroom and he left me a note. Honest to God. Okay. How many people fall asleep at night on an old recliner or mattress? Thank you for being on. I do too. And then I get up and go to bed, 11:30 or 12, when I wake up and everything. Okay? Do we have good posture? I said that, nobody moved. These chairs aren't bad chairs, okay? This is called aging, loss of strength or flexibility. Our brain says, my brain says, hey, I can still do it, but wait a minute. The other thing is, are we as active as we were 5 years ago? No. We're doing other things in our life. It's hard. Does anybody here right now, how many people use, well, you do, how many people use your room next door? Try to? Okay. You do?
Every week.
Treadmill or something like that?
Like treadmill, lift weights.
Okay, perfect. Okay, how many of you people sleep on a good mattress at night? Okay. How many people in this room try to sleep 7 to 8 hours a night?
Right.
Right.
Try to? It's hard though, isn't it? Other common causes of back pain. How many people try to eat at least 2 good, nutritious meals a day? That's hard too, right? Because you're always on the go. And if you got kids, you're going from one thing to another thing. You're just chasing your kids all around. Okay, is that person lifting correctly? What do you think's wrong with it?
Too far?
Yeah, he's out too far. What about, the back's not straight either, is it?
No,
What about this?
his heels are up and down.
Yep, heels are off the ground. What about right here? Shouldn't that box, before he picked that box up, shouldn't that box be labeled? How much it weighs? Have you guys ever picked a box up and you picked it up and you go, whoa, that weighs more than I thought it does? What about this? You pick a box up and it's wet and the bottom falls out. Have you ever done that? And our normal reaction is what? We try to go like this, we try to grab for it, and then all of a sudden, uh-oh, I just pulled something. People tend to do that. Okay? Uncommon causes of back pain. Did you ever know anybody that was born with a curvature of the spine? Okay. I had a sister that was born with a curvature of the spine. She didn't find out until she was in high school, couldn't play any sports that she was at. What about this? Hopefully we're at the end of this. We're in that cold and flu season right now. Have you ever woke up and your whole body hurts and your back hurts too? You know, if you get a bad case of the flu, I had that last year over 3 days. I didn't move, and I felt like a train ran over me. And my worst part of my whole body was my back, and I just had a bad case of the flu. Okay. We don't want to be a weightlifter at work. We want to ask for help. Okay, this person right there, he's trying to pick that box up. The second person is struggling, right? And the third person finally has it in the safety zone right here, right? Finally gets it right here. Okay. When you do something, if I'm lifting something, I want to lift it off this table. And if I have to put it over here or behind me, I want to pick it up and I want to pivot and put it someplace. How a lot of people get hurt, they go like this. They twist at the same time. And right now it's kind of icy out, right? And you do that, see what can happen to me? I can fall, you're picking something up, and I can end up like a pretzel then. So what you want to do is pick something up, grab it, okay, pause, and then pivot. And then put it on the table or whatever you need to, the cart next to you. Okay? Every time I look at that, I think of one person. Remember Christopher Reeve? Superman?
Yeah.
What happened to him?
Fell off a horse and got paralyzed.
Okay? How high was he? Up off the ground?
6 feet, 10 feet.
5, 6,
Yeah.
16, 15 hands or whatever? Okay. I got a question. In the last year, have you guys ever been off the ground? Climbing on something? A lot, probably, right? Okay. Did you ever think about you're up 5 to 6 feet? What happens if you slip? I always think about that. Okay. He wasn't up very high, was he? And he just came down an awkward position. I should ask this when I start. Has anybody slipped and fell this year? Happened pretty quick, didn't it?
Yesterday, yeah.
Did anybody see you?
Oh, yeah.
They're all laughing, okay.
I waited until he started laughing, then I laughed.
Okay. You fell too?
Yeah, slipped off the ladder,
Okay.
so icy.
Icy. The last time, speaking of last time I fell off a ladder, my lovely wife decided it would be a great holiday that I put up the Christmas lights. And then she decided on a great day that I had to take down the Christmas lights. And I was in a hurry, didn't want to do it, and they're frozen. And instead of walking down the ladder, I wasn't too happy I was out there, and the next thing I know, I fell. And ended up in a snowbank. And I get up, and it's just like, wow. Well, that night we went out with friends, and my neighbor Coach Mack asked my wife, "Hey, you see Mr. Safety fall today?" Neither one of them came out to help me. You know, and when that happened, I covered up my snow angel, so I didn't want to be embarrassed. But it can happen. It can happen real quick. And usually, when we fall, what do we fall on?
Concrete.
Right. Concrete. You could hit something on the way down if you're on a truck or something. You know. Okay. Have you ever known anybody with a slip disc? Sometimes people can go to chiropractors. They can work through this sometimes. That's supposed to be painful. I've never had that problem before, but some people have. Okay? Have you ever known anybody with a herniated disc? My understanding is that's like extremely painful. Every time you take a step, there's pressure coming down on you. It's just constant pain. And sometimes you have to have surgery to correct the problem. Okay. I'm not going to say who it is, but if I worked here a week, I could tell Joyce who it is. You have people that you work with that come to work right before they need to work. They walk in with a Snickers bar and a Coke, and they expect to work. Okay? They just got up from out of a warm bed, got in a cold vehicle, and now they come to work, and they might have to do some lifting or moving stuff. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying you got to do jumping jacks or anything like that. What I'm saying is get up a little bit earlier, stretch the body out, etc. Now, you said you worked out. When you work out, do you guys do any stretches first, or do you just go in there and start?
You're old, you gotta stretch.
What'd you say?
You're older, you gotta stretch.
Thank you. Okay?
Yeah.
You do too?
Yeah.
Okay?
I didn't when I was younger, though, I just read it.
But things have changed, right?
Right.
Okay? Now, on Saturday, I ref 4 basketball games, and I had to stretch. And I have to stretch a half hour before my games. And then I had to go across town to another gym, so I have to stretch again. So, and I'm not saying doing jumping jacks, I'm just saying get the body going, you know, etc. Some blood movement, doing like that. It's just something to think about. A lot of people get hurt first thing in the morning because they haven't warmed their body up. Okay, a couple things, we're almost done with this. Okay. Do you guys think you have good housekeeping? What do you guys think of your warehouse? Good housekeeping?
Yeah.
I'd agree. I'd give you an A. The only thing that Joyce told me you're going to do, which is great, I would improve the lighting in it. And that's out of your guys' hand. But overall, your housekeeping looks good. So, okay, boots and shoes. How long will a pair of boots or shoes last you? 6 months.
I'm at about 9, just about shot.
About 9?
Yep.
Okay. Do you wear tennis shoes? You wear boots? How long will your tennis shoes last? Okay. So it depends on what type you use, boots, tennis shoes, etc. It depends on, are you using them outside of work too? Just remember, if you're getting tired, look at what boots that you guys have on and shoes. And then also, just remember, okay, hey, I went 9 months, and then you put on a new pair, then you can say, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't go 9 months. Maybe I should go 6 months or 7 months. So if your back's getting tired, look at your boots that you're wearing. It can make a big difference. Okay, beware of surfaces, winter conditions. How do they tell you to walk in the wintertime? Thank you. I'm going to a nursing home tomorrow that's run by the nuns. And I told Sister Jacqueline yesterday, I told her I was coming, I said, I'm going to take a picture of you and your habit and send it out to my accounts. If you want to know how to walk, just watch older people, and they tell you to walk like a penguin. Because I've seen two people. I saw somebody fall today, and then I saw somebody last Friday. I pulled up, and the guy got out of his vehicle, a young guy, and whoa, and he caught himself. But it can happen real quick. So, and back safety. The last thing I want to tell you is ask for help on back safety. If you need help lifting or moving something, we'd rather have you ask for help than have a back injury. Anybody have any questions or comments? It's just a reminder. None? Okay. How do I switch over now? I'll get you. Thank you. Okay. Do you guys have any chemical or solvents? Right out in the warehouse, right? Okay. Joyce said, this is one of the reasons why you're an elite company. A lot of companies don't do this. You guys have, I call them safety data sheets. You guys have them, right, on your product? Okay. If I'm a new employee, how do I find them?
It should be where you buy the chemical you're using, wherever you get stored in the MSDN sheets.
Okay. Is that correct? Is that where they're at?
Yeah, and the copy in the office.
Ours are online.
You guys are online?
Yep.
Do you guys know how to get them online?
There's an icon on every desktop that says MSDS online.
Did you do that? You don't have to have a book. Did you guys know that? All you have to do, the standard says you have to make the data sheets available to your employees. Now you guys went one extra step and you said they're located right by the product, right? And then they're on everybody's computer, right? Awesome. I told Joyce that. I have a company that did that about 1.5 years ago, and you guys went through with that. It's just awesome. So, who's the newest employee here? You? Your name?
Marv.
Marv, do you know how to get those? When you were hired, did anybody show you during orientation? Okay. So during orientation, or somebody needs to show Marv how to do it, how to click on them. But they're on everybody's computer, right? So just is it a red icon? You click on it. And,
Which is an actual trip.
okay. Okay. What type of chemicals and solvents are you guys dealing with?
Mineral spirits.
Okay. What else? What else?
Methanol.
Methanol. Okay.
Brake cleaner.
Don't you have ammonia too?
Not here.
Oils.
Stored light. We don't.
Okay, oils, right? Okay. Who's operating forklift?
Well, I wasn't.
Okay.
I do.
Okay. Is that an LP or battery?
Right.
Okay. So I thought it might be LP. Okay. So something that somebody needs to do at least once a year. Go through and make sure on that list, make sure that you have all the data sheets that you need. And really, all you got to do is when somebody goes out and buys something, so just make sure, are you the gatekeeper of the putting new ones in the system, or who does that?
You know, I'm not even sure who does that.
Tessa.
I think Tessa, yeah.
Thank you for volunteering her. So, okay, this is easy.
Yeah.
Okay,
She does.
I saw her hand go up. So if you guys buy something in a corporate and you guys get something new in a warehouse and you guys have never seen it before, all you got to do is when that data sheet comes in with that product, just make sure that she gets it. Okay? And you guys should keep a copy of it if you're going to put it back out there. Okay? Any questions so far on that? Okay. This used to be, some of you guys have had this a number of times. It used to be called Employee Right to Know. You have a right to know what you're working with. Then it was called Hazardous Communication. Now it's called Globally Harmonized System, GHS. One of your friends on the other side of town called John Deere, they were big into this. John Deere has plants all over the world. And what happened is every time they shipped something, they had to label it 2 or 3 different times. Now we're all trying to label things the right way, the same way. So now it's called GHS. Okay. If I manufacture a chemical, solvents, etc., I had to change over from material safety data sheet to safety data sheet. I'll show you coming up. It was just some minor changes you got to do. And labeling had to change. Okay. Before I forget, has anybody in this room ever looked at a safety data sheet before? You have? Some of you guys have? Okay. If you've never used that product before, I would take the time to look at one to find out exactly what you're using. Okay. What do companies have to do? They have to do this training once a year, and then you have to change over to safety data sheets. Okay. What do you guys have to recognize? New safety data sheet format. I'll show you that. Pictograms. I'm going to show you that. Okay, and then we're going to talk about hazard statements coming up. The new law went into effect, new standard, December 1st, 2013. Okay. If I went into your system and right now, I would bet anybody an ice cream cone that all your safety data sheets, I bet they're not all safety data sheets. And they were supposed to be done in 2016. The problem is, some of the chemical manufacturers haven't moved over to the new system yet. An example, 3M, they're a huge company, and they have thousands of chemicals. They haven't done all of them yet. So you can't get a new safety data sheet until there's a new one produced. So all you got to do is, if there's an old one, just put the old one in the system until you get the new one. That's all you can do. And you have tried to get a new one, and there's not one out there. You can't do anything about it. Okay. Here's something else I want to show you. Okay. Old bottle, new bottle. They can be the exact same stuff. Don't be surprised on the new bottle. Down the road, I'm going to show you a label. Down the road, you're going to see things that were flammable are going to be non-flammable now. Because what we found out is everybody was writing down it's flammable, or combustible, and it really wasn't. They were over labeling. Now it has to have a certain flash point. If it doesn't, it's not going to be there. So that's one of the changes you're going to see. Okay. This is a sample label you guys are going to see on your, you might have something like this right on your drone right now. Okay, this is a sample. So it's going to have a product identification. It's going to tell you who manufactured it. There's an emergency number right here. So if you have a problem with it, you should be able to call that number. I had that happen. I go to Keokuk, the school system, and they hired a plumber, and a plumber put something down the high school drain, and it started sticking up the high school, and they evacuated the school, and all the kids wanted the afternoon off. So the fire department called the emergency number, and some chemist at the other end said, "That just stinks, open up the window, those kids can go back into school." So they didn't get the afternoon off. So there should be somebody at the other end of that. There's going to be precautionary statements, things that you need to be worried about. On the label, it's going to say what to do in case of a fire, what to do in case of a first aid. Okay. I'm going to show you a better picture of these pictograms. There's 9 of them. Okay. 8 of them are related to OSHA, and 1 is related to EPA. I'll show you that one. What do you think that one is right there? don't ingest, it's basically the health hazard. If you lived in California, that would probably be on everything that they have in California. What do you think the other one is? Yeah, flammable. Okay. Danger. Okay. There's going to be two words there: danger or warning on something. Okay. Define the word caution and don't use the word careful in the definition. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what OSHA did is they took the word caution out. You're not going to see it in signal words. You're going to have danger or warning. Danger is the most serious one. Caution to you is going to might be different than me. So they just eliminated that word. So we're going to have danger or warning now. Okay. There's going to be a hazard statement. Things you need to be thinking about. Highly flammable liquid or vapor may cause liver or kidney damage. What does that remind you of? Alcohol? Thank you. To the extreme, right? Now, if I walked into your shop again with Joyce, and I saw that on a container, I might come up to Joyce and say, hey, I see that on a container. She might want to ask one of you guys, hey, what is this stuff? And you would say, hey, Mark, we use that for cleaning, but when we use it, we dilute it. Okay, good answer. But you need to take a look at your hazard statements to see what that is, and see if there's something else you can use to eliminate that. Okay, here's the pictograms, and I'm going to email you this, and then you guys can keep a copy out in the shop and see what this is. See this thing? If you buy something and it has a dead tree and a dead fish on it, don't pour that down your drain. Don't pour that in the creek. Don't pour that in the parking lot. That can get you in trouble. Okay? I've only had this happen once. My buddy Dan was walking into the back building, and he was taking the newbie out to lunch, first day of work, and he told the kid, go back and straighten up the back building. Kid grew up on a farm. He lived on a farm. So,
Just dumping them?
thank you. And that's what he did. And my buddy Dan was walking out to take him out for pizza, and he looks, and the guy over there in the creek said, I need to talk to you. And it was a DNR guy, and he was picking up a few fish. So just remember, if it's a dead fish or a dead tree, don't pour that down the drain. Okay. Acute toxicity. This one is respiratory issues that you can see. Okay. Skin is the other one. Carcinogen, like I said, that would be on everything in California probably.
Except for weed.
Yeah, except for weed. Yeah, weed. Okay. That's a whole different topic.
Let's ignore that one completely.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Self-reactive. Okay, what happens if Joyce hires me and I'm going to be the janitorial engineering specialist first class, and I mix Clorox, bleach, ammonia, and spick and span in a bucket? What's going to happen?
It's going to put off a bad vapor.
Yeah, I'm going to have a little vapor. So sometimes that can happen if you're mixing the wrong thing, if you're not reading directions. That's the flammability one. Okay. Do you guys do any welding or cutting here? Do you guys have any compressed cylinders, oxygen assembly?
Yeah.
You do? Okay. Something you might want to do then is get one of these, and where you store that stuff, put that placard up right there. Okay, do you guys use any spray bottles for some of your jobs? Okay, that's danger warning. Okay, one of the main reasons I'm here. What's in there?
Not with
Not with
that.
it, go.
We have no idea.
Okay. Who is responsible for labeling that? Now, if we label, technically, if you want to be in compliance, now you got to have the right pictograms, those little pictures, and what it is on those spray bottles that you guys have, and you can order those pictograms. Okay. So that's not Windex. Okay. You were the last person in here. Your name?
Awesome.
Austin. Okay. I was in a hurry today. I didn't have a chance to go to my office, but usually I try to do this with the last person that walked in the room. I have 3 spray bottles, and I usually give it to the last person that walked in the room. Austin, if you can tell me what's in all 3 spray bottles, I'll give you money, and you can go out to any place you want to in the tri-state area. When I give him the first bottle, what's he going to do?
Smell it.
Why do we want to put our nose up to something when we don't know what it is? We all do it though, right? Okay? And the first one is a Windex, and the next one is an oil. The third one, usually 99% of the time, Mark wins. I shake it up and it turns 3 different colors. And before I give it to him, I'll ask him, hey, do you have good sinuses? And they never smell the last one. Now, one time, there's a young kid in the group, and I did that to him. And he looked at it, he goes, I know what that is. I know what that is. I know what that is. He goes, dude, you're buying pizza for 20 people. And I go, okay, what is it? He goes, you got 3 unmarked containers. That's what they are. What type of pizza do you want? So just remember, who has to label that? The person that pours it in or the supervisor? Yeah, that's the only person that really knows. Okay. You guys have 55-gallon drums out there, right? Okay. If you pour from a 55-gallon drum and you pour into the same container and it's labeled the same, an example, Windex. If I have a gallon jug of Windex and I pour into a Windex spray bottle, I don't have to relabel that. Okay? It's the same container. If you keep it in the original container, a can of WD-40, you don't have to relabel that. It's just spray bottles. Okay? So if I go out there right now and I walk around, how many spray bottles do you guys have?
Not in our warehouse.
I have a bottle of Windex.
Huh?
I have a bottle of Windex with the label.
With the labeling on it?
Yeah.
You're off the hook. Do you have any spray bottles? So you two are off the hook.
And we were allowed in the shop, other shop.
Okay. What do you have in there, like soapy water and stuff like that? or-
Yeah, degreasers, Windex, stuff like that, and some coil cleaners.
Okay. So all you have to do is then get with Joyce and find out what stickers you need. It'll be right on the safety data sheets.
Yeah, the company we ordered through, they give us labels too.
Oh, do they really? That's awesome. Keep dealing with those people if you get the labels through them.
Yeah.
Okay. You got a spray bottle?
No, but we got cleaning supplies out there that aren't marked.
Okay. So just thank you for being honest. So just get them out there. Do you have any spray bottles? None? Perfect. Okay. So. Okay, what about this? Is that legal? I want to dry that can of paint out. Latex paint. I can do that. I'm going to dry it out and I'm going to throw it away. It's latex. I can do that, right? Yeah, I can do that. Okay, what about this? In the shop, what about this? I clean it out and I put paint thinner in there. After I clean it out, now what do I have to do? Yeah, I got to label it. Okay. Are you a mechanic?
Nope.
Okay.
Just maintenance, okay.
Okay. Okay, your maintenance guy, if you're working on something and you drain the oil or hydraulics from something and you put it in a pan and you put new oil in it or hydraulics and you're gonna get rid of the old stuff. You don't have to label that old container, because that's called a transfer. You're getting rid of it. Okay? Within a day or so, please get rid of it, but you don't have to label that. That's called a transfer to do that. Okay?
While we're on this, actually, we had this question the other day at our shop. You know, if we have some other dangerous chemicals that we can't throw away, do you know of any, or maybe I can talk to you after the class, of some different, you know, environmental companies that will, any pickup or drop-off locations that are in this area?
Yeah. I would call two people.
Okay.
First is your Dubuque County. Do they own the waste site, or is it privately owned?
I think it's on like Dubuque County.
Okay, so like in Scott County, they have certain, I think it's 3 times a year, that they have drop-off for chemicals, and they have lines of cars. And what they do though is you can only take so much out there. So what a lot of my companies do is they put it in small containers, because you can't take a whole bunch out at once. So I would call them. Yep. And then the other thing is, I would call somebody non-emergency. I would call somebody maybe at the fire department. And then waste oil. Do you guys have a waste oil container? Try to find somebody. I do work for Midas Muffler, and they own 150 locations in the Midwest. And what they do, they have in their new shops, they have waste oil burners, and they heat. Oh, do you really? Yeah, just use that then, you know, for your oil. Yeah, yeah. And then the other thing is you can't get rid of it until you know what it is. Do you guys have some stuff that's really old that you don't know what it is?
Yeah.
Boy. I can talk to you guys about it afterwards. I have a friend of mine, he's a doctor, Dr. Andy. He's a chemistry professor at St. Ambrose University. He does that for people. Well, he'll take a sample, and then he'll go back in his lab, and he'll find out what it is, and then he'll tell you, okay, you can get rid of it this way. So, just something to think about. You don't have to read that. All that says is, hey, if you got a spray bottle, just put a label on it. Pretty simple. Okay. Okay. This used to be 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. A red 4 means if I'm a fireman, I probably don't want to go in that doorway to fight a fire. Red 4 means extremely flammable. The new standard changed. Red 4 is now a red 1. The numbers got reversed. Okay. I don't know why. Now, you guys haven't done this yet, and it's not a regulation in Dubuque yet. Sooner or later, someone's going to tell you you might have to put these signs on your building. You guys don't have them on back there. Okay, it's not required yet. But sooner or later, you might have to do that. So if you ever do that, all you got to do is look at the worst thing you have. If it's a 3, put a 3 in there. You look at everything you got and just write the largest numbers down. Or now it would be the smallest numbers. Okay, abracadabra. See what I did? You guys see that? I changed it. All they did is the wording. Okay, there's 16 sections. I just want to talk about some of them. Okay, you got the first one. The new safety data sheets, if you looked at old ones, they were really hard to read. It was like reading Latin. Now there's 16 sections on how to look at them. Hazard ID from the manufacturer. Okay, if you want to know what you're working with, all you got to do is go to section 3. Find it, and it'll tell you what it's made out of. That's all you got to do. Pretty simple. First aid. If I work in a shop, or I work in a warehouse, and I get a skin rash, and I got to go to the clinic, The nurse is gonna say, Mark, what were you using? You can send them an email, you can scan a safety data sheet, and she's gonna look at it. It's gonna tell her what to do in case of a first aid. You guys can read it too. It'll tell you right there what to do.
So Robert, do the maintenance people, do they have them right on their phone, or how do they have access to, you know?
Computer access, just like everybody else.
Okay, so I mean, I'm just wondering if they're out on a job site, on a site, they don't have access.
Well, they can bookmark it on their phone, I can't magically put an icon on there.
Okay.
But they can bookmark it.
Fire department, what to do in case of a fire, that's in section 5. What to do in case of a actual done release, that's section 6. Okay, handling, okay. The last one I want to talk about is section 8. Do I need to wear gloves or face mask or goggles when I use them?
Keep them bookmarked.
It'll tell you in section 8.
Yeah.
The two sections I would look at, what's it made out of, what am I dealing with, and what do I need to wear? Pretty simple, right?
Put an icon on it.
Do you guys have gloves? Do you guys wear gloves all the time? Yeah, but it all depends on what job you're doing, right? Yeah, if you don't need them, don't wear them. But if you need them, if you're working with something, put a pair on. Questions, comments on back safety, GHS, HASCOM? It's just a reminder. Who does the general orientation of your company? Is it every department does their own? Is that how it's done?
I mean, we have like specific information from an HR perspective that they fill out, but then the manager kind of.
Okay. So the other thing I could think of, something I would add is every department, I would show them. But Robert went through all that work and put it on. I would just show everybody, hey, this is how you get the, here's the icon, here's what it's for. It's for your information, etc. And before I forget, you do have a great company here, a fantastic company. The one thing I was really impressed with when I came here is a lady out front named Kathy, right? And she told me last week that you guys didn't go out. Was it last week when the weather was really bad? You guys didn't go out. Okay, I'm going to tell you, that doesn't happen to a lot of companies. A lot of companies, keep going, and it's just like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Too many bad things can happen. But you guys did the opposite. Hey, we're going to stay here. We can do other things for that. That just shows your commitment to everybody in this room. Anybody have any questions? Okay, how long did I tell you it was going to take? About 45 minutes to an hour, about 46 minutes. Did everybody sign in the sheet?
Robert.
Awesome, guys. Yeah.
We're out of here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
have a
you.
great day. Have a great day.